Good morning, everybody, and welcome inside the latest edition of Zach with an H. We're here with Eliana Wydra. She is the founder and CEO of Sense It Life, the creator of the trademark, and she's going to show it right now, the Sidekick, featuring 7 different wings with a Z. It helps to serve those with sensory processing disorder and anxiety a chance, a place, an opportunity to calm down, keep their hands busy. Again, we're going to get into what it is. We're going to get into SPD in a second. But Eliana, where we always start is careers. What was the first one you wanted to have as a kid?
Didn't really know, but if I have to say one, I would say singer.
What was the allure of music for you?
The allure, I just liked singing. It had nothing to do with music itself. I remember when I was about 2 or 3, I was singing Happy Birthday, just repeating it over and over again, and my parents were telling me to be quiet. And I just stood up on the chair and was like, I gotta sing. I just gotta sing.
SPD, sensory processing disorder, is a neurological condition where the brain struggles to properly receive, organize, and respond to information from the senses. And again, this is from the Cleveland Clinic. Individuals with SPD may be overly sensitive, hypersensitive, or undersensitive, known as hyposensitive, to everyday sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, which can disrupt daily functioning. So, Eliana, how did growing up with SPD shape your childhood?
Well, I was diagnosed when I was 5. Seams on socks would bother me, loud noises, prints on shirts. I would only be able to wear like um, Michael's craft store shirts that like people use to tie dye. That's what I would wear. That's what I was comfortable with, like 100% cotton, I guess. Uh, and yeah, everything was just very overwhelming, I would say.
And from growing up with SPD to then going to Drexel, your second school, and that towards the end, it seems, is where the inspiration for the company started. So yeah, where did Sense It LLC emerge from? How did it become your senior thesis in college? And then now it's a company.
Yes. So it really came from the desire to help people like me who have sensory processing. Um, the market is so saturated with fidgets for children that I wanted to make this specifically for adults discreet. Uh, and just to bring awareness to sensory processing because not a lot of people know about it. People know about ADHD and autism, but not sensory processing.
And then what was the process of taking it from a senior thesis to a full blown licensed company here?
So I knew that I wanted to do something with it, obviously. Um, but it actually started at my senior show where like someone came up to me and told me that they loved the concept and wanted to help me make it grow. However, I didn't end up going with them. I went and took this venture for myself.
And now, kind of continuing that. So you mentioned you went yourself. Coming out of college, at what point then did you realize that this had serious legs? It can really turn into something.
Well, I would say, like, yes, during the senior show, really was validating for me. Uh, People would like come up, and I made it look like a sensory room or like the idea of a sensory room, and like just seeing people interact with the product that I created, that I was working on for so long, uh, was just really validating.
And also, I did want to ask you about the sensory room and kind of that feeling because you've gone to a lot of events, concerts, sporting events. I know airports have started to have them. How important do you think those sensory rooms are for people to kind of be able to just take a beat, catch their breath, and feel comfortable in any overwhelming setting?
I think it's very important. Like you said, having a place where you could just like step back is very important. And you sometimes you just need that to not get overwhelmed.
And so outside of the work you do here, you've designed logos, this one included, thank you very much.
Of
And
course.
you've worked for various outlets, doing all different kinds of design work. And it's a very competitive industry, whether we're talking about creating products and fidgets, because now, you go on TikTok, you on Instagram, you just look up the word fidget, and you're gonna be scrolling for an hour, with how many accounts there are. With that said, all of that together, how important is it, in design at large, to be able to be versatile and just do all these different things?
It's so important. I am a strong believer that you should be able to know how to do all of the things that you would either like get someone to help you or hire or whatever, and to be able to do it yourself. Because if you can't find them, what are you going to do? You need to be able to do it for yourself so you have it. And so I'm a strong believer in just knowing how to do all of it.
And with that, talking about strong beliefs here, how would you say, Eliana, that you've personally grown as the company has started to take off?
Um, I would say more confident, especially with social media, being on a podcast. Um, I would say that posting my face, talking in front of the camera, uh, the thing that's supposed to relieve anxiety is giving me anxiety. But as I continue to do this, continue to grow it, um, I do feel more confident talking in front of the camera.
And this is more off the cuff. We did go over topics first, but I do want to ask you point blank as we're in the middle. How have you noticed maybe you've gotten more comfortable, less, slightly as you've done more of these with yourself? Because it's hard because you can make great content and voice it over, but sometimes people just want to see the face attached. So how have you kind of noticed, or what's made it easier for you just getting out there and doing it as time has gone on?
So the thing with social media, of course, you have like the likes and comments and all of that. And I noticed more likes. It just kind of became validating. And though those, like, yes, they mean a lot, uh, it kind of just shows that you're going in the right direction. And it's been nice.
Yeah, people want to see the face behind the brand, right?
Yeah.
And what people may not know about you as we continue to dive in, you've set up at multiple events. You've been I think you've been in 3 different time zones with Sidekick, with your company. You've had tables, you've been a part of keynotes. And yes, I do realize a lot of these questions just asking you to talk about yourself and really brag about yourself. And there's a reason, because everybody should be able to do that every now and again. How has it made you feel knowing, when you spoke at the Star Institute panel a couple of years back, you're at a store now, in Arizona? How does that make you feel, in knowing that your product, the thing you created, is being seen by people all over the country?
It's really amazing. And I am so thankful for it. Just seeing this thing grow and trying not to get in its way. I am by no means an occupational therapist, so it's not like I could diagnose people or anything. I just want to help people relieve anxiety, and simple as that.
And really, when you're designing this, it's yourself in mind first. Like, is this something I would use, right? Is this something that can help me? And with that, right? Because if it doesn't, then you go back to the drawing board. And I know right now it's primarily the Sidekick and the wings that you've been working on a lot. So, what are some of the things we might be able to look forward to with Sense It in late 2026, as we're already nearing the second half and into the beginning of 2027?
So can't say much, of course.
Yeah.
But you may see some new products, maybe some customizations. We'll see. Just stay tuned.
Okay, customizations. All right, so you are so without saying what you can't say, the stuff that's out now can be toggled a little bit for the user experience. You're saying?
Potentially.
Okay, very nice. And now, what advice, Eliana, would you offer up to people that are either currently growing up with sensory processing or might be a little bit older with sensory processing, whether it's a way to alleviate the stress of it or just find a way to live comfortably with having it?
So two answers come to mind. One is definitely hearing my mom. um, would say, like, for example, like if seams bother you, wait 5 minutes, and if they still bother you, go change. Um, I would probably say more so, like if I were to give myself advice, it would be more so reassurance that what I'm feeling is valid. So, yeah.
And what advice would you give to folks who want to work in the autism and SPD space to try and help people?
It's such a great community. It's so supportive. I say go for it.
Okay. So you found it to be very rewarding, kind of being in that and giving back.
Absolutely.
Would you do anything different to get to where you've gotten now from where you started?
I wouldn't wait as long. I would jump right into it. There were points where I dragged my feet, admittedly, but it is very rewarding.
And now we move to my favorite section. So I sent you a couple of topics, but you know how it is on Zach with an H. You've been a listener.
Mhm.
So what I sent you is only going to be part of this section.
Oh
There's going to
boy.
be more because to those that are new and this is their first episode, the reason that I'm going to ask the following questions in the below, the beauty of Zach with an H and its origin. We talk about the childhood. What do you want to do first? Where's your first kind of finding of your passion? To talking about your career, to offering advice to those in your space. You got people from all different walks of life, which is the goal. And then we just go completely off script. What food do you like? What celebrities have you met? Do you like pumpkin pie? So I know you don't. You've mentioned that before. We're going to get to it. So there's 3 questions here. You're probably going to end up with 5. We'll get right to it. No more
Boy.
stalling. Favorite celebrity interaction you've ever had?
Um, the one that comes to mind of, I think, the only like celebrity politician that I've met would have to be John McCain at a hockey game in Arizona when I was young.
Did you say hi to John?
Yes, I did.
A little handshake?
Yeah.
Okay. R.I.P. John McCain. Very nice. Great start. What were the brainstormed names that didn't make the cut? Because Sense It is fantastic. And so Zach with an H was maybe the 13th, 14th name for this.
Mhm.
Like, what were some of the other, and not, and this isn't to give people the chance to just run and take it, but just for curiosity's sake, would love to know what some of the other ones were that kind of made it, that ended up in the rejected bin.
For Sensit itself, there was no other option. I kind of did a word association tree and just free flowing. I wrote Sensit question mark, and it kind of just stuck.
So no rejected names.
No.
All right, very nice. So start, bench, cut, kiwis, olives, pumpkin pie.
Ooh. So kiwis, I would start,
Okay.
then pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Shocking. Then olives.
No, olives just it's not even just the pit. I don't. It's this. I mean, of course, it's the texture. It's the scent.
The flavor.
Yeah, that's got the big three. When something has three things that just don't
Yeah.
work, you can't. All right, so did say I'm gonna go off the cuff. I'm gonna give you two more topics here.
Okay.
Most competitive board game you are the most competitive about playing.
Uno or Trouble, but I
Trouble.
would say Uno.
Do you find that when you play Trouble, most people know what it is, or are you re-explaining it when you're running it up with new people?
Um, Most people that I play with majority of the time know, but yes, I have to explain it to like newbies.
Do you ever play with anyone that gets very competitive?
Oh yeah, almost. Uh, they almost just guess and predict.
Oh man, brutal. I would hate to play with someone like that. It's so noisy. I'm just trying to play the game, man.
I
Relax.
know.
All right, last one for you. Before we sign off, give you a chance to plug where we can find you. Let's go with. Hmm. Have you had any "I made it" moments with the company, with the product? I know we've been talking a lot about how it's coming. You have made it. We're saying for the audience, Eliana has made it. Like, where was one of your "I made it" moments?
I would say when I visited the store for the very first time, that was definitely a I made it. When I was at one of the star symposiums, the first star symposium that I went to, it was very cool to see just people coming up and asking what it was and uh, saying like using it and being like, "Oh, this could actually be very helpful and beneficial." Uh, it was just validating.
So first off, that is beautiful. Thank you for your time today, Eliana. I'm glad we can make them. We've been talking about this for a while, so thank you for coming on.
Of course, happy to be here.
Where can we find the sidekick? Where can we find your social media? And how can we buy one?
So you can find and buy one at sensitlife.com, and you could find me on well, Sensit on all of its socials, Sensit at Sensit Life.
Okay. Thank you for your time and looking forward to speaking again.
Yes.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time on Zach with an H.